How many of you out there have some beliefs that limit you, and you know better, like you know they're not really true, but they still get you emotionally and stop you? Who's got some of these out there? Raise your hand if you say I. Say I. Well, you intellectually know they're not right, but they still control you because they're deep in your subconscious. They literally are a pattern that's gotten locked inside of you. And so what we're going to do is decimate them. We have a process. It's experiential. It's not intellectual, so that we can literally scratch the CD. Remember I talked about that? If you listen to an old CD in the old days and listen to music, it's because there's a pattern on that CD that the laser picked up. And if you got a CD in your head that's keeping you overweight, set of beliefs, set of emotions, and I try to put a new one inside there, it's not going to work if I put them on top of each other. But if I pull out your old CD, right? Remember the old CDs? And I take out a needle and go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth across that belief, that emotion, that pattern. Now if you try to put it in, it'll never work the same way. So now your brain's open to something new. And then we're going to plant to something new that's going to shift you. You can look online and see all the people who lost 10, 20, 30, 40, some people 250 pounds because they made the psychological, emotional shift, and they know what to do. In every city virtually in the world, someone's dying driving a car, but we don't not drive our cars because otherwise you have to stay home and do nothing the rest of your life. So I say to all of you, grab your courage. Courage does not mean you're not afraid. We've said this several times. It means you're scared shitless, but you're going to do it anyway. And if you're going to make any money, if you're going to build a business, if you're going to have a great relationship, you're going to have to take some risks. Intelligent risks, not stupid. I'm not saying break laws or rules or whatever the case may be where you live. I mean, comply with the rules, but don't live in fear. And don't let your uncertainty keep you from taking action. Because if you do that, you're going to live that the rest of your life, and it's not a happy life. Think about it. Most people don't live that philosophy of stretching that I shared with you that Jim Rohn taught me. His whole philosophy was, if you can't, then you must. Remember? If I can't do it, then I make myself do it immediately. Now, again, it's not if you can't jump off a cliff, you must. You got to be smart. But if you say, I would be a better person if I took this action, but I'm afraid, or I'd be a better father, a better husband, better friend, better soul, better spirit, better anything, businessman, businesswoman, and I know that would happen and I really don't want to do it, I make myself do it. That's why I have the privilege to be with you today, because I keep breaking through. But most of us let our mind get in the way. Breathe in your heart, make a gut decision for whatever's right with you, and I'm cool whatever you do, either way. But if I were you, I wouldn't just stop with a little bit you got here. If you've come back day after day, you must know there's value. So consider what you want to do, and whatever it is, we support you.
We mentioned something earlier, but I want to make sure you put it in your notes. And that is the state we're in the moment. The state we're in at any moment powerfully impacts the meaning we associate to something. The state we're in the moment powerfully impacts the meaning that we associate to something or that we assign to something. So one way to change what things mean to you is just change your darn state. Is that true? I mean, if you're feeling great, do things just kind of bounce off you that normally if you're feeling upset? Would you change the way you look at them probably, change the way you feel about it? You bet. So we need to really still manage our state. And we talked about that a great deal last session. I want to make sure that that's part of your life's work. Because your life's work is really learning how to live in a way where you spend most of your time enjoying yourself, very little time in pain. Most of your time in pleasure, very little pain. And living your life hopefully in a way where not only do you feel good all the time, but the people around you feel good just by being around you. Because they're around you, they feel a lot less pain and a ton of pleasure. See, that's my idea of success. Success is when you learn to live your life in a way where you experience tons of pleasure every day and almost no pain. And simultaneously, where the way you live also causes the people around you to experience very little pain and tons of pleasure. Then you know you're really successful. Because if you feel good and nobody else does, you're a failure. Now, that doesn't mean you go around and try and make everybody feel good. Some people have an investment in feeling bad because they think feeling bad equals feeling good. Are there people that believe that? Yes or no? Yeah, because they think if I feel bad, then people will notice me or they'll love me more, or they'll help me more, or I'll get more attention, which means feeling good. People have weird crap they work inside their head about how to get to feeling good. Some people think I'm going to feel good when I make $1 billion. Some people are like, when I have this, this, and this, when I get married, have these many children, this and this, then I'll feel good. Some people have, well, I'll feel good if I feel bad because then people notice me and make me feel good. Or you could just like choose to feel good. Which one do you think might be a more intelligent approach? Because who's in control there? You are. You don't have to worry about the environment. And by the way, when you're feeling good, it tends to make you want to feel even better. It makes you share good feelings with other people, which makes them feel good, which makes them reciprocate usually. Not always, but usually. Kind of nice. So the bottom line is we got to manage our state still And as a reminder, as far as that's concerned, changing state means change the meaning. The way you can do it is either by changing your what? Anybody remember from last session? Change your what? Change your what? Change your physiology. Physiology, again, means the way you move, the way you breathe, your facial expressions, your gestures. The way you use your body determines the way you feel. You got to remember that for the rest of your life. If you're not feeling the way you want to feel, first thing you do is just change the way you're moving. Emotion is created by what? Motion. Emotion is created by motion. You have 50 muscles in your face. A slight change in any of these muscles will radically change the way you feel. Remember we did this last time, I think. What I'd like you to do right now, real quick, is create some tension in your body, some tension, then put a big, huge smile on your face while you're doing it and notice how it feels. How many feel somewhat excited when you feel this? Let me see your hands. You know why? Excitement has tension in it. The only difference is you send a different biochemistry into your body. You fire off different biochemicals when you make a smile. Physically, it changes. You want to get depressed? What do? Drop your shoulders, look down, breathe shallow, drool. Right? Change the way you move. Some people have limited emotions because they have limited motion. They're trying to express their feelings and they go, I have something important I want to share with you. Hear me. Feel me. I am man. Feel this? Versus, listen to me. Come on, let's make this happen. Let's do this. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? The more emotion you have, the more emotion you have.
Now, shake your body out, get out of that state completely. Now, please give me an out loud answer for two reasons. It'll keep your energy high, and secondly, everyone in the room will hear the percentage of the audience that's affected. So first, did you have to change your body to go into this state? Yes or no? Did you change the muscles in your face? Yes or no? Did you change your breathing? Yes or no? More full or more shallow? Say it again. 2,000 people, different belief systems, different backgrounds, all saying the same thing. Did you talk more loud or more quiet? Faster or slower? Now notice, you all have different backgrounds, belief systems, values, come from different parts of the world. Who here's from a different country than the United States? Raise your hand. Who here's from a different country? Look at this. And you're all saying the exact same thing. Here's why. What is universal in all human beings, what God has created with us, or nature, whatever your belief system is we have the same neurology. If you use it one way, you'll produce one emotion. Use it a different way, you produce another emotion. It has nothing to do with your partner. And when you get it, you can change it. So let's try something in a different state. Shake your body out and be like a kid again, not a boring adult. And here's what I want you to do. This time when you greet people, we're going to do it in a different state. I want you to greet people as if you're deathly afraid they're going to reject you. Now, who here has ever failed to do something because of a fear of rejection? Anybody in this room? Say I. Okay, good. Then you know what I'm talking about. But here's what I want you to do. As adults, we cover up this feeling even from ourselves. We try to hide it. I want you to exaggerate what you do. So you'll notice what you're doing on a more subtle level. So you really be like a little kid. Give me an answer nice and loud, please, so your energy's high and you hear it. Did you have to use your body very differently to go in a state of fear of rejection than pissed off? Yes or no? Did you change the muscles in your face? Yes or no? Did you change the way you were moving? Yes or no? Did you change your breathing? Yes or no? More full or even more shallow than when you're angry? Which one? Say it again. Did you talk louder or quieter? Faster or slower? Again, 2,000 people roughly, all saying the same thing. Interesting. Because in order to feel a fear of rejection, you got to do something in your body regardless of what somebody says. It's something you do, it doesn't happen to you. Let's do one last one. Shake your body out. Try a different state. This time, I want you to approach people as if whether or not they like you or not will determine whether or not they do business with you or not, which will determine whether or not your children eat next week. In other words, if they don't like you in the first 3 to 5 seconds of meeting you, and people would never make such a judgment so quickly, would they? If they don't like you in the first 3 to 5 seconds of meeting you, then in case you don't have kids, everyone you about dies like pigs in hell. It's that important they like you. Let's see if you use your body differently. Ready? Go, go, go.
What happens with human beings is every thought has a frequency. Every thought produces a chemical. So if you keep obsessing about your lack of finances, your lack of time, your lack of energy, you're taking thought. It's producing a frequency, and that frequency in the form of chemistry is storing that thought emotionally right in your second center. You feel guilty, you feel unhappy. The moment you feel unhappy, then you generate more thoughts equal to that feeling, which makes more chemicals, and you keep taking energy from the brain and storing it in the body. If you react to people in your life and you feel anger, frustration, whatever it is,
there's a new part 2 trying to be born for you. And it requires you to own every part of the past, but own every part of the possibility. And on the other side of that, the diamonds that will drop out of your mouth, the from your soul, the seeds that will be planted and the harvest that will grow. You will be barely recognizable, but better than that are the people around you.
You have to work on yourself. You have to have an unstoppable attitude, and no excuse is acceptable, and you've got to make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your life, and hold a constant vision of what it is you want to achieve. See it accomplished and go all out. Find a way to win in spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. I tell people, you will fail your way to success. I have the saying, if life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up.
First of all, you must decide, is your life in pursuit of happiness or is it an expression of joy? No, love is not something that you do. Love is something that you can become, it's your quality. If your mind is in a certain way, it's joyful. If your emotions are in a certain way, it's loving. This is the quality of sweetness of body. If your body becomes sweet and pleasant, it's called health and pleasure. If your mind becomes very pleasant, it's called peacefulness and joyfulness. If your emotions become pleasant, it's called love and compassion. If your very life energy becomes pleasant, it is called blissfulness and ecstasy.
Treat yourself like you're someone that you care about. You make the world a much worse place if you don't take care of yourself. So you should bloody well take care of yourself, because it's partly because you have something valuable to bring into the world. That's the thing about being an individual. It's the thing that as an individual, you have a light that you have to bring into the world. And that if you don't bring it into the world is a dimmer place. And that's a bad thing, because when the world is a dim place, it can get very, very, very dark.